Welcome to the Juniper Tree Podcast, where we have some amazing guests in our midst with us today. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to get in to learn more about their story. But before we go there, let me introduce our co-host, Miss Miriam. Have your way. Say hello.
Yes. Hi, Pastor.
How you
I'm
doing?
having so much fun today.
Been a blast.
Oh, my goodness, Pastor. This Friday, it was awesome.
What?
We had the circle night, which is a family night, okay? And we highlight talents and abilities, and we do poetry and dramas, and we're thinking, we're just going to be so amazing and fun. It's a family night. It is a fun night. We do it the last Friday of the month.
Yeah.
And last time we talked about healing and laughter.
We did. Oh yeah. It was the circle is different. It's a different appeal.
Yes.
It's not like any other church service where you come
No.
in, you're going to get 2 worship songs, and then you might have a small intermission of some sort, and then go into a message.
Yeah.
Well, this is different. This one you get all type of expressions through painting, poetry, dance. A lot of
music.
expression that people use to express their worship to God. And a lot of times it's not just clapping and singing. Sometimes people
And we
write
had food,
poetry. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we bless. Yeah, we got food for the body, physically and spiritually. So the circle is really unique. I think everyone would like it. I think it's something for everybody. I do.
Right. So, and we're growing, and we just give thanks to our higher power that he is involved in here. But today we have amazing guests, Pastor.
Yes.
You know
yes,
what?
yes,
I
yes.
told you, I met him at a UTAC. A UTAC is a place where we take the kids for just a little bit of refreshment, a little bit of activities, creative activities, but we also talk about what the program is, the 12-step program. So Al-Anon has a division for Alateen, and this is the kids that have grown or have been exposed to relatives in their families who are doing drug addiction or alcoholism. And in here, I heard the Smith family. Look how beautiful they are. And I heard their story, and I was touched.
They all got the same smile. Look.
They have the
Same teeth and
DNA.
everything. Ain't nobody teeth crooked or nothing. It's just perfect
Beautiful
family.
people, yes, yes.
He even showing his. That's good.
Yes, I heard their story, and I was touched, and I wanted to bring them over here so that they can impact a lot of people, and they can give them their hope. Because this is not just a story of drug addiction. This is not just but it is about recovery. It is about taking back what they have lost through drug addiction. So this is the Smith family. They have given us permission to use the story. They are willing to share it openly, and we're going to be hearing about them, and they each will tell their story, and it's a beautiful one. So, yes, so it is Jamie, and it is Steve, the husband, and it is Riley, and this is Amelia, and this is Michael. It's a beautiful, but Michael is only 8 years old, and look at him. He's comfortable with the cameras, he's comfortable with the mic, and he tells a great story too, so I'm so thankful. So, Pastor, one of the things that I heard is that they were the perfect family in the eyes of others.
I can see why.
Yeah. They portray being perfect, having no problem. They kept all of the pain inside. Well, at home, that was a different story. It was a painful, it was a shameful, it was hard, it was, fights. The last time I heard Michael, being on the second floor, listening to the parents fighting, and they're crying with a younger brother. They're crying because they don't understand what's going on. The only thing that they're seeing is that the family is falling apart. They don't understand it because they're very young, but nevertheless, they're feeling the pain, And then the teenagers, of course, they're feeling the shame and having to create this facade of being okay in spite of being in trouble, deep trouble. See, Pastor, I have discovered And Steve is going to be able to tell us this. But most of the people that get into drug addiction, alcoholism, they're trying to cover something, some kind of pain. You know, some of them is imaginary, but some of them is real, like our military people who have, you know, with PTSD through, you know, loss of a relative or like a loved one, you know, loss of a husband through death and all of that. And they don't know how to heal that. They don't know, they don't have a higher power to come and they can invoke to heal their heart and their pain. And therefore, very soon they find themselves in drug addiction with no hope. The only friend is the one at the corner selling the stuff, right? Because they don't want to tell their family. And oh my goodness, one of the things that I have discovered too is that drug addict is adept. It is incredibly manipulative. And they hide it so well. And for a while, they hide it from their employers, they hide it from their family, from their friends. No one knows their story until one day. And also, one of the fascinating things is that sometimes even the close relatives, they don't recognize the signs. We don't know, especially we have not lived in a place where we have seen drugs or the effects or, you know, we don't recognize it. Even if we have it in front of us, we don't recognize it, okay? So yes, a lot of the times it is hard to detect and it is hard to even suggest help because the drug addict also does not want to recognize it. They think they have it under control. See, and this is the power of the enemy that they want us to believe that we can handle it, that we are going to be okay, right? We just taste it whenever we want to, we do this whenever we want to, but very soon, drug addiction takes over, and like Steve will say, he will say that it takes over the mind. It is the power, you know, the desire, the need to do drug addiction is just like breathing. It is so important. It is what the mind, it's a mindset that takes over that the brain does not want anything else. It doesn't care about a job. It doesn't care about being a provider. It doesn't care about being a good friend. It doesn't care anymore. The only thing that the brain wants is the addiction, is the drug, to the high. And they live for the next high, correct? Yes. So, but today, courageously, this family is going to come and tell us how Alateen and Al-Anon have helped them, and how their faith helped them. Because this is courageous, Pastor. See, most people are not willing to tell their story, their pain, their shame, you know. But the beauty thing is that there is hope. I want to tell you, Pastor, Al-Anon is a 12-step program. And it is a beautiful program. I love it. They have literature in Spanish, in French, and in English. It is available throughout the city, and any city you can find places where you can go and meet. And you know, they have the programs face-to-face. Some of them are hybrid. They do it through Zoom and also face-to-face. And it is available throughout the world, Pastor. This is not a small organization. There is help, you know, where you can go and find courage, where you feel loved, where you feel understood. One of the other things that we find is that it is hard to share what you're going through because you think that no one else is going through that problem. And also you want to keep it secret because it is shameful. You know, some of them go to jail because of the crimes that they're committing in order to get the monies. Some of them working very good jobs that they get the money so that it is not as noticeable. But others, you know, they end up on the street. They end up in hospital. They end up in a mental institution. They end up even dead if they don't get the treatment. Now, Al-Anon and Alateen, I love Alateen. Okay, so anyway, we start with Al-Anon. Al-Anon has lots of beautiful literature. This is One Day at a Time, and Courage to Live, and also, now, out of Al-Anon, Alateen was born, and Alateen is a program for the teenagers, like the beautiful teenagers that we have today. And in there, also, they have their own literature. You know, they have their own books. There's talk to each other, resolving conflicts. You know, there's also Alateen speaks about slogans, and they're just beautiful literature available. So I am so happy. Now, we discovered that the secrets we keep us in bondage and in much pain, right? So Jamie, I'm sure that you tell your family, do not tell our secret, right? Now, why did you do that?
There we go. I feel like we did that to protect our dad,
Okay.
To protect Steve, and to protect our reputation, and to feel like we needed to not let people down, not let Steve down, I guess.
Okay, so you wanted to keep the perfect family image, right? Okay, all right. Now, when we bring them to the light, when you're able to share with others your pain, now all of the things dispel, right? Because when we bring light, when we bring knowledge, when we bring help, then that's where our healing starts, correct? Is that your own experience? Yes? Yeah. Absolutely, right. So, Al-Anon and Alateen is a 12-step spiritual recovery program that helps relatives of the family members or friends of those who are in drug addiction or alcoholism. So, what can we learn in the literature? Give me some examples of what really has helped you in this recovery program. Anyone?
Well, for me, I will read, these daily readers, sometimes I'll read them and I will see these people's stories and I can relate to them so much, and it just helps me realize that I'm not alone. And I also see things that are so hard, and I don't know, it just helps me realize that there is so many hard things in life, and it just makes me grateful for what I have, and it's something for me that I can relate to and get advice from, I guess. But.
Okay, and Riley, could you please read, show us the book, the name, say it, and then for today's date, you're going to read. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So this is Living Today in Alateen. And so today, the reader is, I am working on step 5, and I find that it requires a lot of painful self-honesty. I believe God already knows everything I've done wrong, so the hard part is admitting it to myself. Just as the alcoholic in my life justified his behavior, so have I. By lying so many times to cover up, I ended up believing my own excuses. Understanding this about myself has helped me to understand and accept the disease of alcoholism and drug addiction. Now I am able to admit that I have my own problems, things that I never wanted to look at. I can forgive myself and accept myself for who I am. I think once I can admit the nature of my wrongs to other human beings, I will be able to go on to step 6. I am grateful for this program for teaching me how to be honest with myself. And then at the bottom it says things to think about, and it just says step 5. It says step 5 is...
Step 5 is.
Okay, yeah, so...
read it over there, yeah.
Okay, I'll read it. So, admitted to God and to ourselves, and to other human beings the exact nature of our wrongs.
Wait a minute. Tell me that again, please.
Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to other human beings the exact nature of our wrongs.
My goodness. So we had to look at ourselves, find out what is wrong with us, what we're doing wrong, what we're thinking wrong, it's not right.
Yeah.
And then admit it to someone else. Now, what does that do to us? Is it hard, or is that step hard or easy, or what do you think, all of you?
I think what's hard about it, and what I think is so wonderful about the Al-Anon program, is when you are able to look at yourself, the focus changes, the blame changes. Instead of pointing fingers and blaming and other people being the cause for any of our misery, what this program allows me to do is take a look at myself and what I'm doing wrong and what I'm experiencing, what I'm going through, and takes the focus off of everybody else, puts the focus on me, and there's a lot more control within myself than there is outside of me. So it really just helps me do a lot of self-reflection. And when I see flaws in myself, see things in me, it actually eliminates the problem with other people. I'm not seeing it in other people as much. And if I do see something come up in somebody else, it actually, for me, is an opportunity to look at myself and realize, our family's probably our favorite saying that we've pulled out of this program is, you spot it, you got it. And so if we see it in somebody else, it's only because it's in us. And so if we see something in somebody else that bothers us, I feel like we've all gotten pretty good at this. It's just an opportunity for us to look at ourselves and for me to realize there's something in me that needs some deeper healing and some reflection and some work. So
Great.
that's probably my favorite thing that I pulled out of this.
Thank you, Jamie.
Allows me to
Yeah.
change myself, not try to change everybody else.
And Steve, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, so step 5 for me is an opportunity to start healing your relationship with God.
Okay.
You know, that it says admitted
To
to
God
God
first.
and foremost.
Right.
And so part of the AA program is, first of all, you do a step 5, and so you go and sit down with somebody and you share the exact natures of your wrongs. And for me, I thought, man, if someone ever knows exactly what I've done, it's over.
Right.
But the
You were
exact,
trying to take care of your reputation.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Your good name.
Yep. But
the
the exact,
family name.
the,
Right.
exactly. The exact opposite happened.
I got a question. What did you do? Like, what position were you at before this? Because it seems as though you guys are really big on image.
Yep.
So most people who are big on image have something to project or something to show. What was it that you were protecting exactly?
My ego is what I was
Okay.
protecting. So I ran a company, an outdoor company, and so there was obviously a lot of responsibility on me for that. But really, it was mainly our ego and our image. I felt like I couldn't show anybody that anything was wrong with me. When in reality, you know, like these are kind of the exact natures of what I was doing wrong. I dropped my daughter off at soccer practice, and I'd drive up to Ogden, and I'd pick up a homeless guy off the street in the park, and I'd go spend the next 3 hours driving around with him trying to find drugs. So the reality of what I was doing versus the image of just being this supportive dad out there with the family, dropping the kid off, and then driving up, and quite frankly, you know, some of these people I was spending a lot of time with.
They were new friends, right? But
Yeah.
the wrong friends.
Yeah, spending more time with them than I was with my own family.
Okay.
One thing back to this step 5 that was amazing is I've had the opportunity to go and help other people with step 5. What I've seen every single time is they've shared things with me that everything you can imagine that they have done. I've probably helped maybe a dozen people do these. The only thing that I've felt for them, no matter how bad whatever they were sharing with me was an increased love for God, for them.
Right. Compassion. You understood them.
Absolutely. Just love.
Yeah.
Love like I didn't know was possible to feel, just a pure love of God for them.
Because they're in a desperate position, you know.
Absolutely.
A drug addict is not having it easy either. It's a disease that affects the whole family. And you need someone to understand you and who loves you.
Yep.
So that's what you're able to offer now. See, that's the beauty of this particular program, that now you can understand and help others. That's amazing, Steve. Now, I want to mention something about Alateen. Is it safe? Is it free? How do I get there? Well, it's very easy. You're just going to the Al-Anon. You're just going to a Google, say Al-Anon, and then you can find where you can meet, all right? Everywhere, around the world if you need to, all right? But the Alateen program is open to all teenagers. It is for kids. We ask that adults be involved, but they need to go through training. They go through training. We call them AMIAs. AMIAs is an Al-Anon member interested in Alateen service. They're there just, you know, to just monitor, make sure that they're safe. But basically, the kids run the program. And that's the beauty of it. They understand the program. When I first saw at UTEC how the youth handles this program, and how they run it, and how they make it their own, because see, in Al-Anon and Alateen, first you look towards your higher power, to God, to us, all right? That's where it starts. But then they give you the tools. You learn the tools, how to be okay, in spite of whether the member is still in active addiction. It is a program for yourself. And so anyway, we always put 2 adults in this classroom or in this meeting so that the kids can be okay. But they go through training. They go through, a background check. So is it safe? Absolutely. Is it good? Yes, absolutely. Is it beneficial? Yes. Is it free? Yes. Is it available to everyone? Yes. So that's why I love the Al-Anon and Alateen program. Now, Amelia, would you like to read why is Al-Anon the introduction and Alateen? Okay, awesome.
Detachment is no easy task. Before Alateen, it was hard to separate ourselves from the person we are concerned about because everything seemed to be wrapped up in the drinking or drug addiction. In Alateen, however, we come to see that see ourselves as worthwhile, loving people no matter what the alcoholic says or does. We learn we need to become the very best people we can, and doing so many require us to separate ourselves physically or emotionally from the alcoholic. Sometimes it is easier to do so than other times. But as we predict that we learned in our meetings, we are astonished to find that we truly love ourselves and others, including the alcoholic or addict in our lives. This booklet, Alateen members share their experiences with detachment and give us insights, things we can do daily to improve our lives, to detach from the alcoholism or drug addiction, and to get closer to the person.
Thank you, thank you. Now, this is a fascinating thing that they teach you, to detach. Now, does that mean you abandon your drug addict or your alcoholic? No. What it means is that you set up limits, right? What you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept, and you also love them because they are ill. And when they recuperate, yet they need the encouragement. They need your respect. And this is something that you were able to do. You love your father in spite of the addiction that he was in. You love your husband in spite of the addiction. You respected him, you know. And yes, I heard Riley say, I was angry. I was angry at my dad, I was angry at my mom, I was angry at God. Yes, it's a human emotion, right? And it is natural. But now that anger, through the program, through the faith that you guys have in the higher power, and also through the program, you have learned to turn it into an asset.
Yeah.
And now you even said, my goodness, it has turned into something that I can give thanks for. Wow, Pastor, can you say that? Not many people would say that, you know, that an addiction can be a blessing. Wow, that is 180 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Most people will not see that. But yes, the lessons that we learn, right, through all of this. That is amazing. Okay, Steve. Now, I am curious, and usually I have a wild card, and it is in my backpack. But anyway, a wild card where I ask tough questions. And this is addressed to you. How do you feel, or how does it make you feel, or especially at the beginning, when you heard the pain of your family, what you were putting them through? How do you handle that? How, you know, to hear about all of the things that they went through, the pain, the shame, the anger, the anguish. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the greatest miracles that I've experienced. Early in recovery, that tormented me.
I can imagine.
Thinking there was no way to come back from this as a family.
Okay.
That this was going to not just ruin my life and my wife's life, but that this would continue to negatively impact the life of my kids, their future marriages and family and kids. And when I talk about the miracle of this, is I can honestly say I do not regret the past, nor do I wish to shut the door on it. Because what I can see now is that no matter how far down this path that I have gone, that our experiences can help other people.
Right, right.
And so as they share their tough experiences, I just feel love for them. I feel, for me, it just increases my faith in God, in my higher power, that he could take something as damaging as an addiction, and today, truly, that we can look at it as a blessing. That's a miracle. There's no other word for it. It's a
Right.
miracle. And so I see what this has done, not just in my life, but in each and every one of my family members' lives. And today I'm grateful for that. As crazy as that may sound, I'm
Right.
grateful
It is
for
crazy.
Yep.
It sounds crazy,
Yep.
yes. It almost sounds incredible.
Yeah,
It's hard to take.
Yep.
Right. But it is truth.
it's 100% true.
Now, the reason is because you had a faith in a higher power who loved you, who has loved you through all of this, and has loved you through the restoration. Now, for restoration, in my mind, it takes repentance, because first, acknowledgement of the problem, which you did valiantly, courageously. You did that. You recognized that there was a problem, that you needed help from a higher power. You repented from it because you were willing to go through all of the, inpatient and probably outpatient therapies that you needed to do. And you also were willing to make amends. That's another great thing on Al-Anon and Al-Atin. Make amends. What does that mean, make amends to you?
Yeah, so for me, first of all, I just want to clear up, there wasn't much valiant about me at that point when when I say surrender, like, it was, I tried everything else, and this
Yeah,
was
we
my,
do try
okay,
that.
I'll do whatever you say, just to try, my last hope to,
Okay,
So-
let me go back to Jamie. I'm sure that you tried
Yeah.
the tears and the manipulation, right? Which is usual, yeah, and it is common.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So
right.
there was not anything valiant about me
Oh,
submitting to
I differ.
So I just
It
was-
takes courage to recognize that.
Yeah, I think, anyway, but for me, this restoration process, that's the beautiful part of the program that we're discussing, and quite honestly, that's the beautiful part of God. And so, yes, first of all, I had to acknowledge my wrongs, and that's part of this step 5 that we discussed.
Right.
Acknowledging my wrongs, and then making a commitment to not, to do my best to not make them again.
Okay, all right.